Hello everybody, welcome to MJX Movies. Today I'll be acting the 2016 film The Accountant, directed by Gavin O'Connor. In this movie has a lot of timelines, so I'm just going to start with the earliest one and work our way forward. The current timeline, or the present timeline being the timeline in which most stuff takes place. So, starting at the earliest timeline, we meet our main character, the accountant, as a child. He is experiencing developmental issues, so he's taken to a treatment center, where the treatment center doctor offers to treat the accountant for free. However, the accountant's father, a military PSYOPs officer, declines and elects to raise him himself. This leads to the accountant's mother leaving the family, leaving the accountant, his brother, and his father behind. And this also leads to the father having the boys trained in things like martial arts and marksmanship. We then move forward to our next timeline, which is the accountant and his father attending the funeral of the accountant's mother, his father's ex-wife. Where there they get into a fight with the current husband and children, boys of the mother. This leads to the accountant's father being shot by a police officer in attendance, which leads us to our next timeline. The accountant is now in prison, where he befriends a money laundering mob accountant who teaches him not only the arts of money laundering, but also helps him with his social skills. This leads us to our next timeline, where the mob accountant is let go and his witness protection lapses. He is found by the mobsters that he informed on, and he is tortured to death. This leads the accountant to escape prison, and also leads us to our next timeline. The accountant escapes prison and he goes on a murder spree where he kills all of the mobsters responsible for the death of his dear friend, the mob accountant. In the process of his murder spree, he comes across a treasury agent who later on becomes head of a treasury department, the one responsible for dealing with treasury crimes, let's say. That treasury agent, in the current timeline, in our present timeline, we're there now, is attempting to track down the accountant, so he enlists the age of a junior treasury agent, who he also blackmails, I guess, because I guess just being her boss wasn't enough. The accountant has a small accounting firm in a strip mall. We see him initially helping an older couple, reduce their tax burden. They befriend the accountant. They offer to have him come by. The accountant occasionally comes by their farm, which he uses for target practice. The accountant is also hired by a large technology firm that is engaged in things like robotics and prosthetics to analyze their books because a junior accountant found a leak. The accountant analyzes their books with the help of the junior accountant who initially found the initial leak. He figures out that there's a leak, and he initially suspects that it's the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. The Chief Financial Officer is murdered by a hit squad. And then later on, also, the sister of the tech company's founder is also murdered by the same hit squad. The accountant manages to save the junior accountant, who is almost murdered by the hit squad, but not before the accountant saves the day. He saves her. They go on the run, where the accountant realizes that the answer all along was, in fact, the founder of the tech company who was the source of the leak. So the accountant goes to murder the tech company founder. In the process, he wipes out the whole hit squad, minus their boss, who it turns out is his brother. He and his brother reconcile. Then the accountant finally does murder the tech company CEO. And then he goes off into the sunset, but not before he informs the treasury agents of the tech company's wrongdoing, giving them a tip. He also sends a valuable painting that the junior accountant had noticed in his emergency escape trailer. A very valuable painting he sends to her. And yes, after that, he ultimately then does ride off into the sunset. So, with this movie, stars a bunch of people. Ben Affleck as our main character, the accountant. We got J.K. Simmons, John Bernthal, Anna Kendrick, John Lithgow. We get appearances by Jeffrey Tambor and Gene Smart. And then a whole bunch of character actors that I was not familiar with. So, to begin, as you might have surmised from my plot summary, this movie has a lot of timelines. They're jumbled and they're a mess. This movie really could have been greatly helped by maybe streamlining their timelines a little bit more, or making their timeline jumps a little bit clearer. I'm not often a fan of title cards at the bottom of timeline jumps, but I think in this case, it definitely would have helped. This movie also is one of the many movies that features the trope of if somebody is experiencing a disability or has some sort of developmental disorder, this in turn makes them an X-Men level, this gives them an X-Men level superpower. If you are not a fan of that, or if you find it hackneyed, lazy, or downright silly, you're probably gonna want to steer clear of this movie because that is the core of this movie. Also in this movie features a real pet peeve of mine, which is a regular person. So in this case, a junior accountant, but it could be a sound engineer, it could be, I don't know, whatever, a waitress. The point is, a regular person who walks into a room and instantly clocks either incredibly valuable art or recognizable classical music. The junior accountant in this movie, the Anna Kendrick character in this movie, there's no mention of her being a doctorate level fan of art, and yet she walks into the accountant's trailer and instantly clocks a Renoir and a Pollock. Not a fan of this. This always bugs me. This movie, I will also say, has pretty good action scenes. I think the action scenes are fun in this. There's not enough of them to carry the whole movie. There's a lot of Ben Affleck in this movie just being a nerd without a great sense of emotional intelligence. For me, between yay, nay, and between, this movie, I'd say it's probably a nay. I don't think it's really essential viewing. If you're a big Ben Affleck fan, or if you find Ben Affleck to be a compelling leading man, then I would say give this a shot, because the Ben Affleck of it all is definitely great. Except for the part where he's, supposed to be this nerd. It's always funny when you have a 6'4", very chiseled gentleman as the out-of-touch nerd. For me, this is a nay. However, maybe you're a fan of CPAs, in which case, this might be a big yay for you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like and subscribe. Cheers.